Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Water Cooler. I am Sarah in Texas, and this is our place to chat all the latest reality TV gossip. And of course, Jeff Lewis, the Jeff Lewis After Show, my amazing $10,000 dinner with Jeff and Shane. Thank you so much to my new friends, Melanie and Scott, who I met in New York City. Oh my gosh, I'm wearing some amazing earrings that Suzanne made for me. Can you see them? It gave to me at the New York City meetup yesterday. She was so fun to meet. It was so fun to see Annette again. Oh my gosh. I have so much to tell you. If you're a YouTube subscriber, if you're an Instagram subscriber, I did go live after the dinner with Melanie and Scott in my hotel room. So that is up as a replay on Instagram. I couldn't get the technology to work with the Wi-Fi in the hotel for YouTube, but it is up on Instagram. So anyways, make sure you join that. Oh my gosh, so much to chat about. Ask me all your questions. I know I couldn't go live yesterday. I was in the LaGuardia airport. Their Wi-Fi was terrible. Didn't have enough time. I needed to eat. It was so loud, obviously, and just weird to go live in an airport. So anyways, all your questions. We're definitely going to chat about Dolores and Polly on yesterday's show. Today is Nicole Ryan. I love her. But let me tell you about this $10,000 dinner. If you have $10,000 just floating around your bank account, book now. DM Jeff, DM Shane, DM his attorney, whoever you have to do to book a $10,000 dinner. So in the legal fees, Melanie tells me it's said as an appearance fee. Okay. He said on the air today that he is only allotted 2 hours for that. Y'all, when I tell you we blinked and spent 3.5 hours, nobody got up to go to the restroom. We all sat at this table enthralled in conversation. It was so fun. Of course, he shared too much, which was amazing. Of course, we asked all the questions. Of course, Melanie was like, oh my God, I meant to ask about Zoila, and we never did. Yesterday, we saw him. We were having coffee, which I tell him that there's a coffee shop called Zebeto Coffee Shop or something like that in the public bank building or whatever it is, the building where SiriusXM is. So you can sit there. It's a perfect place to meet. Annette introduced it to me, and we were supposed to sit and have a meetup and then listen to the show. We didn't even turn on this show, y'all, because we were so enthralled with just hanging out and chatting. It was so fun. Then, of course, we met some new friends, my new friends that I showed you on Instagram from Austin, Janet and Jim, who took me to the airport on the bus and the subway, which I never even knew you could do that. It cost me $3.25 to get from Rockefeller Center to LaGuardia Airport. And it was so fun. And it was so meant to be because I got to meet Janet. She has 7 kids. She's a widow. She's newly with Jim. I got to meet her and really get to know her. So it was so meant to be for sure. But this $10,000 dinner was amazing. It was everything. Somebody asked me today on the DM 1 through 10 to rate it. And I think I said a 15 or 20. It was so fun. I got to the hotel around 1:00. I stayed at the same hotel that Melanie and Scott booked at. It was the Upper West Side. It was so beautiful. We hung out. We had lunch. We went to Sarah Beth's. It was so fun getting to know them. We walked around New York. The rain held out all day for us. It did get a little bit sprinkly on the way out from dinner. But I think it was fine because Jeff and Shane actually said they were going to walk back to their hotel room. So obviously it wasn't that rainy. We obviously had to take an Uber because we were, in Midtown and we had to go back up to the Upper West Side. But it was amazing. It was this dark, beautiful restaurant. Melanie and Scott don't really drink. I had ordered a cocktail with light vodka as we were waiting at the bar and just closed out that tab as we were there. And then, as you know, Melanie and Scott paid for the dinner, which we did ask how much it cost. It wasn't as much as you would think, but we sit down and I think, it wasn't my dinner, right? I was just an invited guest. So I certainly wasn't going to order any food and, just kind of play it by what everyone else did, right? So I think Jeff could see our hesitation and he totally took the lead just like a gentleman. and said, Shane, why don't you order some appetizers for everyone? Like, what does everyone like? So I'd already known that Melanie and I talked about how we love seafood. So he ordered like some lobster stuff, some steak tartare, just a bunch of different things. And then later we were getting more food. So he ordered some sides for us to split. We got mashed potatoes, mushrooms. He ordered 2 different steaks and just had them chopped up for like just like appetizer style. It was so good. So y'all are asking, Melanie and Scott are the ones who booked the dinner. So they pay the 10,000. She had been telling me about it since she had booked it on DM. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. Have so much fun. She had told me it was in New York, everything. And then she said, I just got the contract and you can invite anyone. She said, so if you can get to New York, we would love to have you as our guest. So it was the one, it wasn't anyone with it was kind of confusing, Melissa. He was talking about somebody at another dinner that had gotten drunk. None of us were even, I mean, I had the same light vodka and cranberry the whole night. And then I was drinking water. And then Melanie doesn't drink and neither does Scott. So nobody. It was at a restaurant called Benjamin Prime Steakhouse on 40th in New York City. Beautiful. So they picked the restaurant, Jeff or Shane, whoever. This is what Melanie told me. And it was so perfect. We were upstairs. It was decorated for Christmas. It was dark. It was it was a round table. So I was sitting here. Shane was next to me. Then there was Scott. Jeff was kind of across from me, but like at like 11 o'clock. So not directly across. Like I said, it was a round table. And then Melanie was right here. So I just got to see a perfect angle of like Jeff, like totally talking to Scott and Melanie. He was, yeah, they're married. No, they're married for almost 30 years, Melanie and Scott. Y'all must not watch my lives because y'all are missing all this good information that I've already said, or my Instagram stories. But anyway, so yes, Scott and Melanie are a married couple from Richmond, Virginia, and they're huge Jeff Lewis fans. They've watched Jeff Lewis flipping out from day one, huge fans. And it was funny because I was watching the video yesterday and I could see during a commercial break, Dolores was talking about, and she looks at Jeff and she's like, does she have money? And he was like, yeah. So I don't know. She is so not pretentious. I obviously don't ask about their bank statements or any of that kind of stuff. They are so down to earth. But I mean, does she own a Rolex? Does she have some really nice jewelry? Annette was noticing all the fancy jewelry she was wearing. I don't even notice any of that stuff, right? So, but they're just so nice. It was so fun to hang out with them. We were at the same hotel room. So we woke up, we slept in Monday, and then we rode the subway. They had never ridden the subway. So I wanted them to experience that. We got into Rockefeller and then we met. And then a couple of people ended up being sick that was supposed to come meet us. They didn't want to get us sick, which is good. So Jeff, I told Jeff, by the way, I've got some fans that we're going to meet up before the show at that coffee shop right there. And he's like, oh, I'll come by and say hi. And I'm like, oh my God. So we were outside the coffee shop actually waiting for another fan or two to come, and they never came. But and then Jeff walks up. So he took pictures. Then Dolores and Polly came up. They were so incredibly nice. When Dolores, I asked to take a picture with Dolores in front of the Christmas tree. And she was like, wait, I know you. And I'm like, what? And she was like, Polly, this is the Jeff Lewis account that we watch. And I'm like, oh my God. She's like, I love your videos. I was dying. She started following me. They were so incredibly nice. There was the bathroom. So after the show, they came to use the bathroom that was in the coffee shop because they're leaving the bank building or whatever the Sirius XM building is. And Polly had this black coat on. It was all buttoned up. Like the collar was up a little bit. It looked so New York, so sophisticated. And I said, I love your coat. And he was like, oh, thank you. I got this off Amazon for less than $200. He goes, I also have it in another color. Oh my God, right there. I was like, oh my God, the man loves a bargain and he knows how to shop. He was so stylish. It was such an adorable, sexy New York coat. I loved it. But what I love more than anything is that he admitted that it was an Amazon purchase. And I love a good bargain. If you know me, you know I love a good bargain. But when I tell you $10,000 is not a bargain, and I totally understand that, if you can make it work, I promise you will not be disappointed. Jeff and Shane just have a way of making you feel like you were the only people in this restaurant. They were so in tune, as you heard on yesterday's show when he was talking about Melanie and Scott's priest that married them. Yes, there was so much more to that. But when he was telling that story and Jeff had so many questions, he would lean in, he would ask them questions. He was so enthralled in their conversation. He was complimentary of what she was wearing, complimentary of her jewelry. It was so good. And then he was like, ask me anything you want. There was no rules on like what pictures we could post. We didn't post, take pictures of the food or anything, but uh, there was no restrictions on what I could say, what I couldn't say. It was amazing. It was everything I could have ever dreamed of and more. I am so, so thankful that they invited me. But more than that, I'm so thankful to have gone because it was really such a fun dinner. And I just got to know him more. Obviously, he knows I'll be flying in for the show. Um, I mean, it's not ridiculous if you have it, right? He's booked 4 of these dinners this year, these $10,000 dinners. So clearly people know that he has this appearance fee to pay for dinner. But even if it's an appearance fee, what if you paid for him to like attend your wedding or to attend your birthday party or something? I mean, I'm assuming if it's within reason, he would do anything for the 10,000. Okay, maybe not anything, but he would do whatever for the $10,000, right? Um, 10,000 is his base rate appearance fee. I mean, they were required to pay the $10,000 by wire. They had to wire it to them, and then they were required to pay for the dinner. So, but they were also super Jeff and Shane were super like respectful of like what they were ordering. They didn't order like the seafood tower or the whatever. They were basically like, look, once we told them that we had a late lunch at Sarah Beth's, because we finished that lunch around 3, and then our dinner was at 7. And they were like, well, we're not starving. Why don't we just order a couple of appetizers and split them? So it was perfect. So yeah, Jeff, it's not required. I understand why Jeff doesn't pay for the dinner though, because it makes sense. What if everyone ordered like a $500 bottle of wine or like crazy? They just took advantage of it. You know what I mean? But the people they were talking about that got drunk, I think was the Dallas couple, the Dallas group of friends that flew to LA, because he said somebody got really drunk. But today he said she got like really sloppy drunk, one of the friends. But he said that story kind of along with having dinner with us, but he wasn't talking about us at all because, somebody said, does Jeff call me a chump? I'm just saying, Jeff has invited me to come back to the green room at the Jeff Lewis Live show in between the VVIP and the whatever. He said, there's 30 minutes. I want you to come back and hang out with us. I'm like, oh my God, of course I will. And like 2 hours into the dinner, he looks at me and he's like, Sarah, you got my phone number, right? I'm like, no. And he goes, Shane, put my number in Sarah's phone. So I have Jeff Lewis's phone number in my phone. Absolutely. He was so, so incredibly nice. He is obviously, I've met him multiple times. This was the most time I'd ever spent with him, though. So it was amazing. Um, I wonder what tax rules apply to getting paid for dinners. I mean, I think it's just like people get paid to do music at a wedding. So I guess when you put it in the terms of appearance fee, then that's how that works. I don't really know. So, anyways, I know I'm just dying also. I was dying. Trust me. I already sent the picture of me and Jeff. Also, at the very end of the dinner, we closed out the restaurant. It was like 10:25 when we were done. We get up, everyone else was gone. It was a Sunday night. It probably closed at 10. Oopsie. And there was this beautiful area that Shane thought they were going to take pictures at. So I started to take pictures of Melanie and Scott with Jeff, and the lighting was terrible. So we moved to this different angle. I took a bunch of pictures of Melanie and Scott on her phone. So I don't have those pictures. And then Jeff was like, oh, Sarah, let's take a picture together because I'm sure you're going to post it. I'm like, oh my God. So then I gave Shane my phone, and Shane was taking the picture of me and Jeff. And I looked up because he's obviously taller than me. I looked up and I said, are you going to show your teeth? Well, when I did that, Shane took the picture of me like looking up at him, and it was almost like It's just the cutest picture. I almost love that picture that I posted. It was on my stories, but now I think it's up. No, is it up as a I'll post it as a post. Um, I almost love that better than the picture of him smiling. Now, I love the picture of him with his teeth, right? But it's so cute because it's like he's looking at me like, okay, you know what I mean? But I figure, you know what? You have to ask for what you want in life. All someone can do is say no. And when I asked him if he would smile with his teeth, he absolutely did. And it is just the cutest picture. So I did order it on CVS. My daughter's borrowing my car to get her hair colored, but because her car needed a battery today, of course, like, I'm home for 2 days, flying out to LA soon. Of course, I come back and I've got to take her car into the shop to get the battery changed, had to bring a guy out to start the car, all the things, right? Life. Finished up some Christmas gifts. I already went shopping at Dick's. I already went shopping at Marshall's. Seems like I went somewhere else. Oh, CVS I did online. Anyways, but I'm gonna put up the picture of me and Jeff up here. Yeah, my new Christmas card. It was amazing. Please be careful posting in real time in Rose's location. That's not okay. I mean, it's okay, trust me. I mean, anyone can see. I saw her on the streets of New York. So I'm good. I'm good, honey. Trust me. Jeff knows how to reach me if he has a problem with me, for sure. Did Janet and Jim get on your earlier flight? No, no, they were going back to Austin. I went back to Houston. So we had two completely different flights, for sure. Anyways, yes. So as we leave, so Jeff left his umbrella when he was taking pictures of us before the coffee show, before the show. And so Annette DM'd him, I guess, and then Shane brought it down, and then he totally sat down at the table with us, took pictures with us, hung out for like 10 minutes. And that's when Dolores and Polly came by to go to the bathroom, totally hung out with us for like 20 minutes. They are so incredibly nice, down to earth. They were telling us about how they had just flown in from Florida because they're such good fans, big fans of Jeff, but they've also become really good friends with him. So they were like, we're on vacation in Florida, but we're going to fly in for the Jeff Lewis live show because we love him so much. So I think that's the first time I've ever met her. Like, I've been at two different Bravo cons, but I've never been able to meet Dolores. So it was so fun to chat with her. She said on the show that she did her own hair and makeup. I promise you, it looked like she had very minimal makeup on. She looked so naturally beautiful. She is so pint sized, so tiny. She had on all black. She looks so cute. Polly is so put together and so handsome, but so incredibly nice. They are just the nicest people ever. So it was really fun to get to meet them. Um, Jeff and Shane are staying at a different hotel. They definitely didn't stay at the same hotel we did. We had nothing to do with booking hotels near them. And actually, like I said, I stayed at the hotel that Melanie and Scott had already booked, and they were at the Upper West Side. So it was quite a jaunt to get from there to Midtown Sunday. But so anyways, um, yeah, that Polly does her makeup sometimes. It was so funny. I loved them on the show though. I love that they were talking about Cirque du Soleil and if Monroe liked it or not. Uh, I love that Shane was calling himself the chief of staff and Jeff was saying that he's very loyal. It was really fun. Like, as much time as Jeff and Shane spend together, you would almost think they wouldn't have anything to talk about. It seems like they never get tired of each other. Like, there was a little bit of like their phones were down the whole night, like laid over. Jeff at one point must have gotten something kind of work related because across the table he handed his phone to Shane and said, text this code to somebody that works for him. But other than that, they were so enthralled in the conversation. It was just so good. We were all eating, like nobody was nervous. I mean, Scott kept asking me the night before, the day of, and right before when we got to the restaurant, are you nervous? Are you nervous? And he was asking Melanie, and I was like, well, stop asking me if I'm nervous because now you're making me nervous, But I really wasn't nervous. I mean, I know I've met him before, but I'd never like sat down at dinner or just had that long of conversations or listening to him with conversations. Yes. So I didn't pay attention to what Jeff ordered, like as far as brand. I think he got I know he got a dirty martini. Shane definitely ordered a Belvedere dirty martini. But when they got the drinks, Jeff said, "Oh, I've got your drink. This is gin." So I thought Belvedere was a vodka. I don't really know, but whatever it was, I think they made one drink with gin, and he gave that to Shane. So maybe Shane had maybe Belvedere is a gin. I don't know, but I didn't really listen, sadly, to what Jeff ordered. Um, it was so fun though. It was amazing. Did I have a cocktail? I ordered so we got there about 10 minutes before Shane and them ordered, so we just sat at the bar. So Melanie and Scott got a water and I ordered myself a vodka with cranberry and I ordered light vodka because I'm just not a big drinker and and I kind of sipped on that all night. I brought that, I paid for it at the bar to total out that because they just gotten water and then I brought it over to the restaurant with us to the table. Um, oh, he definitely said Belvedere though. He did. Mine didn't come with gin for sure. I think I got a Tito's. I don't even remember what I ordered. I'm not really big. It was Benjamin Prime Steakhouse in New York on 40th. Belvedere is a vodka, so then that's what ordered. So I don't know. Somehow the drinks maybe got messed up, but I think they both ordered the dirty martinis like they order a lot. But we all ate. It was just so fun. I mean, unbelievable. Yes. Dolores has definitely lost weight. I think she's admitted to using Ozempic, right? Or one Mounjaro. Dolores has lost weight, looks even more beautiful and younger. Yeah, they are just so nice. I could tell they were Jeff was trying to ask more questions about Real Housewives of New Jersey, and I don't think she was able to answer everything he wanted to know, but I think she told us enough that it seems like Teresa and Melissa are definitely not getting along. They definitely are leading very separate lives, but they're able to be at like all cast events and just kind of not bother each other. So that was kind of good to know. And that I knew that the house that they were supposed to rent as a cast party at the end had burned down the night before. So they didn't even get to have a cast party, which is kind of crazy, right? Crazy. Oh, you have COVID? Is anyone else hearing the speed change in Sarah's voice? I mean, did he tell any good stories? Absolutely, he told some good stories. One thing I never knew he was complimenting Melanie's jewelry. Melanie wears a family ring of her mom who's passed away. And she was telling that story to Jeff. And of course, Jeff relates because I've lost my mom. Jeff has lost his mom. So he was looking at her jewelry and complimenting. And he said, I sold jewelry. I worked at a jewelry store in college. And I'd never heard that from Jeff. So I never knew that. So, anyways, hearing a speed change making my voice sound deep. I mean, okay. I don't know. Might be your computer. Anyways, yes, I did hear about Madonna. Please hit the like button. Thank you, Melody, and subscribe to Jeff Lewis Obsessed. You're so sweet. Thank you so much. Yes, hit the thumbs up, hit subscribe, hit follow, all the things. Make sure to make a comment, everything. It would be amazing. Anyways, what else? I love the story that they were talking about Monroe and the kidnap game. The way I would love to see Shane running down the streets of New York City holding a 7-year-old girl and just seeing nobody do anything. Like what? So yesterday we'd gone to the Rockefeller tree, taken a picture, then we were walking like a rectangle to go back to the place so I could meet up with those new Austin friends to go to the airport. I saw Jeff in Monroe, and Jeff walks really fast, just walking down the street. So that he didn't see any of us. And that was kind of turned around talking. There was 5 of us walking together. Suzanne, a fan from Long Island, Annette, a fan from Long Island, who I've met multiple times, and then Melanie and Scott, and then me, okay, or sightseeing, right, at the Rockefeller tree. So we're walking back, and none of them saw Jeff. Well, I knew they'd be kind of mad if I knew I saw him on the streets and they didn't. But I also knew he was with Monroe, so I wasn't going to say anything to him. But so he walks, he's in front of us, and I just pointed. I was like, look, like there's Jeff. So Anyway, somebody did yell out his name, and he did stop and chat with us for a little bit, but I just kind of let them talk to them because, you know, I don't want to bother Monroe or any of that. But Jeff was very sweet. They were on their way to FAO Schwartz, and he was going to get her some Christmas ideas, I guess. It was you, Annette. I wasn't going to say it, but yes, it was you. Anyway, so where do I stay when I go to New York? I stay at all different places. One place I love that I passed yesterday is Radio City Apartments right in Times Square, and I love that place. But I've stayed a lot of different places in New York. I loved the hotel yesterday. I loved the hotel. It was called the Lucerne Hotel in Upper West Side, and very affordable, less than $300 total. That was crazy. And it's a beautiful hotel. Matter of fact, Shane asked me where it was because he was like, "Oh, I used to work in that area after college, and I didn't know there was any hotels up there." So he actually wanted to know the name of our hotel so he could tell his parents next time they want to stay there. Um, have I met Jeff? Yes, many, many times. And I just had a 3.5 hour dinner with him Sunday night. So, yes. And I'll see him Thursday night at the Jeff Lewis Live event in LA. It'll be so fun. Make sure if you're in the LA area, or if you can get to the LA area, definitely if you're coming to the Jeff Lewis Live event, December 21st in Hollywood at the Bourbon Room. There's all sorts of events that I've put together in the events tab under the Jeff Lewis Obsessed Facebook group. We also have a fan chat that we're chatting about. We're staying at the same hotel. It's going to be so fun and like just fun to get together and everything. And I think very soon an announcement will be made about the January 20th Hollywood event that I've been telling y'all about. It's going to be so fun, and I hope you can make plans to come. I'm just beyond excited. Yeah, Monroe's very cute. Very cute. What else? Okay. I love the idea that they were saying that they met at Panera Bread for their first date, and Polly was like, "I'm cheap." I'm like, "You are?" But I love that they met just randomly, I guess, at the Apple store. And then they immediately, I guess, went and had this 3 hour first date next door at Panera Bread. So I love that. And then, of course, their first date was at like a fancy dinner, a fancy steakhouse dinner. Um, what else? Oh, they keep fighting over the thermostat. That was very relatable because I remember they've talked about this before. I am the one in the marriage that is always freezing cold. My husband never thinks that it's cold enough in the house. So they're the opposite. Polly is the one that likes it warm in the house, and Dolores is the one that wants it cold in the house. I think it's funny. And we didn't talk about Stu at all. I'll be honest with you. He talked about some dates that he'd had in New York. He talked about another date coming up soon, but we didn't talk about Stu at all as far as him being in New York. No, on TikTok. Somebody else, a couple had paid Jeff's $10,000 appearance fee to have dinner with him, and they invited me along as their guest. So I went to LA to do that. What are you talking about? Reddit. Oh my gosh. Reddit is for broken people. I mean, Reddit is interesting. Y'all send me the screenshots. Oh my gosh. One thing it's funny is my husband, he was sent screenshots one time from Reddit, and they were saying that we had 4 kids, and he was like, they can't even get it right. We have 5 kids. So I thought that was kind of funny that he got mad. Not at the, I mean, definitely he gets mad at the things people say about me, but it doesn't bother me. So he kind of lets it roll off his back. But he's like, they lie about how many kids we have. Like, so clearly they don't have all the facts, right? Like, it's well known that I have 5 kids. Like, hello, I live in Texas. I have 5 kids. I'm a Jeff Lewis and reality TV and Bravo fan. End of story. And I'm a lot more other things. Anyways, what else? I think the drunk woman was another dinner. I think they were talking about the Dallas ladies that came out to LA. Okay, so let's chat about Nicole Ryan. She's been on now 3 or 4 times whenever Jeff goes to New York. Have to admit, I have heard her on Hits One for sure. But I didn't really know anything about her personally. When she said today that her son's name is Keegan, one of my very best friends has a son named Keegan that's almost 16 years old, and I've loved that name for so long. So she just grows on me every time. So I do like the stories that she says, and I like how her and Jeff just have this easy conversation, like so easygoing. What's the Reddit group? I don't know what it's called. Jeff Lewis Snark or something. I think there's a Juicy Scoop Snark for sure, but I think there's some sort of Jeff Lewis page or group or message board or something in it too now for sure. Mia says, you wish Jeff would do one of those dinners for charity. He's so uncharitable and it's off-putting. I mean, I don't know that we know how much. I think he's charitable to people in his real life, like keeping people employed and taking care of them and friends and whatever. But I'm pretty sure he does enough for charity. I don't think he's the kind of guy that would want to brag about that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Jeff, yes, Jeff invited me to go in the green room prior to Thursday's event. So as y'all know, the bourbon room had to change it from 6 o'clock start to 6:30. But he said there'll be 30 minutes in between that. So basically our meetup is at 4 o'clock at the W Hotel, and that'll be a great place for us to meet. So if you're coming alone, don't worry. Also, people are still selling tickets. So some people are still having to like sell their ticket last minute because something comes up or they're sick or what have you. So make sure you're in the Jeff Lewis Obsessed Facebook group, because if people have to sell a ticket, then you can buy it and still come. And the show is Thursday. Y'all know how things are. There's always people having to sell tickets last minute for sure. But even if you don't have a ticket, come and join us at the W Hotel at 4 o'clock. It's right walking distance of the Bourbon Room Hollywood, and it will be so much fun. You will never be alone. It is so much fun. So the last Jeff Lewis event was November 2021, and that was my first ever trip to ever fly anywhere alone, and it was so fun. I met up with other Jeff Lewis fans, and we just had a great time. It was so good. Anyways, and we're also going to have breakfast at the Sight Glass, 9 to 11, Thursday and Friday, and listen to the show. I've got to do my show at 12 every day. Friday, Patrick called me Sunday and said, hey, I know there's a bunch of fans coming in for the show. Is somebody saying I drove by Monroe's school? Oh my God, y'all are so dumb. Dina, they're so dumb. I don't even know. Why would I waste my time driving by her school? When I'm in LA, I'm there to have fun. I'm not there to drive by Monroe's school, for one thing. Anyhow, what was I saying? Anyways, Patrick is gonna let me, Patrick and Polo, I've never been to their boutique, Polo 2 Boutique. They've got their gowns on sale, some of them for $1,000. So they sell jewelry, they sell their book. Where's my book? Hold on. I redo my thing. The Anna Nicole Smith book. You can get that at portraitofanicon.com. Portraitofanicon.com. But they sell these at the boutique also. And obviously you can book a coffee reading. I'm going to go live there that day. So they clearly do their podcast from their boutique. So I'm going to go live there on Friday. And then from 12 to 3, they're hosting like a mimosa social, I think they're calling it. So anyways, are there mean people in the Instagram? Ha, ha, ha. What a waste of your life if you're wasting your time. Who says he has to be charitable? What else? They were definitely talking about this CVS a lot and said rectal swab a lot. And on the after show was Judge Lauren Lake and Zach Noe Towers, who I love together. They are the duo I never knew I needed. Like they just get along so well. You would think they're polar opposites as far as being a mom, a judge. She's a little bit older than him. He's younger. I mean, they're both single. I guess that's what they have in common. But, she's a mom. He's not. They get along so well. Yeah, they mesh so well. I love it. I love it. Oh, you wish he wouldn't do the kidnapping game. I know. I mean, definitely Tracy, Jeff does some questionable things. And it's funny because I even told him at the dinner, I was like, look, I don't agree. We did talk about the Facebook groups. That was kind of funny. He basically said that some people, I guess from him reading the comments underneath the coffee pictures, and then of course he hears about some of the Facebook groups, and he goes, people ask me like, these are your fans? So trust me, he is not worried about me one bit. You know what I mean? One thing he doesn't like is people that think they're being funny and yet they're being very cruel to him and his guests and the chumps. So that is something that we talked about that was actually very interesting to hear from him because he's well aware, like even though he may not be in the Facebook groups, he's well aware how mean some of them can be about him. And he's like, look, I love constructive criticism. I'm here for it. He's like, but if you're mean to me, I'm just going to delete the DM. Like, I'm done. So that was very interesting to hear from him. Um, yes, Robin, shout out. What else? He hasn't done any Christmas shopping yet. Y'all, it's December 19th. He's got to still be in LA or New York till tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be Andy Cohen on. Then they fly home. He's got this live event Thursday night. Christmas is Monday. Like he needs to get it together. I think he did order some stuff. This Bluey, whatever that is, like a cartoon or a TV show, I'm sure. I loved how he was talking about John Mayer giving away a box of oranges for Christmas. And he was like, like, I like oranges, but I don't necessarily want them as a gift. That was kind of funny. Wow, you shop on the 23rd every year and you get everything done? Wow. I guess I have 5 kids. I cannot wait till the 23rd. Twinks will shop for him. I mean, like he says, though, everyone wants time off this time of year, though. So a lot of people, he doesn't even have. Oh, Bluey's an Australian TV show. I love that. Oh, it's also kind of for adults. That's funny. Um. Uh. Oh, Shane said he was nervous. Vice on Instagram says I felt bad for Shane today when the guest kind of picked up on a stutter. Shane said I'm nervous. I didn't hear him say I'm nervous. Um. Husbands all over shop on the 24th. Oh yeah. One year, my husband is really good at gifts and that's not my love language. So I don't really, but he's really good at it. But one year he had this really big, obnoxious, like Bath and Body Works. And I was like, they spotted you a mile away. They've got the very expensive pre-made Bath and Body Works gift baskets ready-made for those dads, those husbands on the 23rd and 24th for sure. Oh, thank you. Jeff needs you on the radio. That is absolutely not going to happen. I mean, not that I've heard him say that, but I mean, I live in Houston, right? They've got the after show. One thing he did ask is he really wanted me and Melanie and Scott's input on the after show and guests and how much he should talk about his personal life. So that was actually really fun to tell him, like, no, we'd love you talking about your personal life. Like, that's why we tune in, right? We want to hear when you're upset with someone. We want to hear when you rebuild a bridge. We want to hear what you ate for breakfast and that you like bacon and that you cry on your dad walks. I mean, it was fun to tell him that stuff in person. Really fun. Um, Live from the laundromat. Shout out, Jim. Somebody's got to do the laundry. I've got a load in right now. Trust me, I know. Trust me, I know. Oh, you're so sweet, AC. Thanks. Smash that like button. Thank you so much. And the thumbs up button, all those things for sure. Make sure you're following me, please, on every social media. I'm under Jeff Lewis Obsessed. The podcast is called Jeff Lewis Obsessed. It goes up everywhere, Apple, Spotify, uh, wherever those podcasts get, everywhere. And it's on a video on Spotify. So just search Jeff Lewis Obsessed. It goes up about 10 minutes after the show ends every day. And then Annie's making another reel for me today. So that'll be fun. We didn't make one yesterday because obviously I wasn't able to go live since I was flying home. Thank you for the follow. Yes, but don't worry. This goes up as a replay. We definitely talked about the $10,000 dinner. Everything here goes up as a replay instantly, except TikTok. Sorry, TikTok. They don't do the replays there. Yeah, Jeff definitely cries on his dad walks. He's talked about that a lot. He hasn't talked about it in a while, but he's definitely talked about it a lot. On the after show. Oh, did y'all hear the 12-year-old caller? First of all, even if you're in New York, I'm sorry, even if you're in LA, the show starts at 9 a.m. Hasn't every single school started by 9? This caller, Lucy, who was actually Louise, I think, called in at the very end of the show asking if she could babysit Jeff's cats. And he was like, wait, where's your mother? Why the hell are you on the phone call? The mom gets on the phone, is like, oh, she hears everything. She's fine. And Jeff was like, we've been talking about like rectal swabs. Like, this is not good for a 12-year-old. It was kind of funny. Yeah, that's insane. The woman let her kid call and listen. That was well, and I'm wondering, like, who was taking calls today? Was it no, Oscar's on vacation, right? He's in Florida. Because a couple of fans ran into him. They sent me the pictures of it. It was so fun. They shared it on the Facebook group, and then our chat. But yeah, like who was able to call in at like almost 10 o'clock in the morning? Because even later would have been LA, right? Sam was taking the calls. Okay. That was weird. So you would think they would have heard that it sounded like a little kid, right? My sister's school starts at 8:20. Yeah, a lot of schools start at that, but I mean, this would have been closer to 10. Where were they at? They actually said where they were from. Where did she say? I think it was more East Coast, actually. Probably the mom called. Oh, I love that. Oscar talks about the chumps in Disney on his Instagram story. I love it. It was nobody at our dinner that got wasted. He was talking about the Dallas ladies that flew out to LA because he talked about it the same day that it happened, or the next day that it happened. But today he was saying somebody got really wasted. Now they said on the way to school. So that tells me they go to school, not homeschool. They said on the way to school. I thought they said. Everybody thinks Jameson is a woman. I mean, I don't think Jameson is a woman. Anyways. Wow. No 12-year-old should be listening to Jeff Lewis live. Oh, many schools are already out right now, but didn't they say they were on their way to school? I thought they said. Yes, Krishana saw Oscar at Disney World. Yes. Oh, he got mistaken for a woman on the phone. I mean, yeah. But in general, I think he sounds like a man for sure. What's going on in these comments today? Somebody said, I must be missing some good stuff on Instagram. Oh, well, it's probably better that way, right? Should we thumbs up on every place or just where we listen? Oh, mom, shout out my mom, not our real mom. My mom, Judy. How did the gifts? Yes, hit the thumbs up, the like, any comment, anywhere you listen. That would really help my engagement. Somebody asked, how did they like the gifts? What all did they think about it? They loved them. So Melanie and them gave Jeff and Shane some nuts from Virginia. And I gave Monroe some books and a sticker book and a Christmas book from Texas and some crayons, like those twistable crayons. And she loved them. So that was just a small gift just for, and then I brought Melanie, so they have a dog and she had sent me a portrait of them. And I had that made into a huge Sherpa blanket, a custom blanket with their portrait on it. And then I gave them a very nice gift card and a few other things. So anyways. Well, we are going to wrap it up. I've got a lot of things to do. I've got something to record after this for the announcement that's coming up for January 20th in Hollywood. So that will be coming up very soon. Make sure you're following me everywhere at Jeff Lewis Obsessed. Thank you for joining live. If you're on the replay, thank you so much. Make sure to hit the like, the subscribe, the thumbs up. Make sure to comment, all the things. And we will see you tomorrow. I know, Michelle, I haven't seen the gifts. You said you were mailing me something. But I said these at the beginning, but shout out to Suzanne from Long Island who made me these custom earrings. They're gorgeous. And she gave them to me at the New York City meetup yesterday. It was so fun to meet her. Anyway, she's got a little side hustle going on. So these are gorgeous and perfect. So thank you. And then my friend Jennifer in Chicago, I said last week, she mailed me this beautiful candle. It was amazing. Anyways, okay, I will see y'all tomorrow, same place. 12 o'clock Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern. Bye, Chumpettes.